Hello everyone. Now today we are going to start error checklist 61 of Nimisha Bansal ma'am. So here are some error detection questions which we are going to do in today's session. So let's begin the session. So just read the first question. The first question says Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Brunei and Singapore last week has part of a deliberate focus on India's Act East policy by the government in its third tenure. So here it is written last week and here it is also written has. So in past form we will not use has, we will use was. So the error is in part B. The correct answer will be Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Brunei and Singapore last week was part of a deliberate focus on India's East policy by the government in its third tenure. So the error is in part B. Now we will move to next question. Next question says he is expected to travel to Laos for the Asian India Summit, the Philippines and Indonesia later this year. Now this latter means the second one of the two things or people, and later means after the present. So we will not use latter, we will use later here. So the error is in part C. The correct answer will be he is expected to travel to Laos for the Asian India Summit, the Philippines and Indonesia later this year. इस साल के end में खत्म होते. So the error is in part C. Now we will move to question third. Question third says the message to reconnect with each of the countries in Southeast Asia and even forge new ties are well considered and overdue. So here the subject is message which is in singular form. So we will not use are over here. We will use is. The error is in part D. The correct answer will be the message to reconnect with each of the countries. With each we are using plural countries in Southeast Asia and even forge new ties is well considered and overdue. So the error is in part D. Now we will move to question fourth. Question 4 says, in Singapore, the spotlight during Mr. Modi's visit was on semiconductors, given that Singapore is a major player in all parts of the electronic supply chain. Now, with Singapore, we are using a singular verb which is. So, here the question is free from error, so the answer will be even, no error. Now, we will move to question 5. The two sides renewed their space cooperation. Who hinged Brunei? Now, here, who is used to refer to people and which is used to refer to things. So, here we will not use who, we will use which. The correct answer will be the two sides renewed their space cooperation, which hinges on Brunei hosting an ISRO station, and it remains to be seen whether other discussions on trade, investment, and energy cooperation will bear fruit. So the error is in part A, we will use which. Now we will move to another question. Next question is hopes for more intense exchanges in technology, trade, and investment can be realized only if the India Asian engagement is more consistently. Here we are using more, which is a comparative degree, and we are using consistently, which is an adverb. So we will not use consistently, we will use an adjective, which is consistent. India Asian engagement is more consistent. So the error is in part D. Now we will move to next question. Question 7th. The two sides do not have a strategic partnership. मतलब दोनों sides में strategic partnership नहीं थी. Also, the leaders discussed defense and geostrategic issues. We will not use here also. This is a contradictory situation. We will use although. Although the leaders discussed defense and geostrategic issues. मतलब हालांकि leaders ने defense और geostrategic issues भी discuss करे थे. And Mr. Modi took a wield jab at China. Wield jab at China means हमारा होता है indirect insults. The indirect insults which we are not fully concealed or disguised. So the error is in part B. We will use although. Now we will move to next question. Next question says, India's performance in the 2024 Paralympics reflects its para athletes' quest for excellence despite of the unimaginable odds they face. So, despite alone means in spite of. We will not use despite of because despite का खुद का मतलब ही होता है in spite of. So, we will not use of here. The error will be in part C. Now, we will move to ninth question. The javelin throwers and high jumpers contributed the more with 4 medals. The is also written and more is also written. We will with the we will use superlative degree. So the error is in part B. We will use most. The correct answer will be the javelin throwers and high jumpers contributed the most with 4 medals in different categories. जो javelin throwers थे, जो high jumpers थे, उन्होंने सबसे ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूट किस में करा था? 4 मेडल्स उन्होंने जीता था अलग अलग कैटेगरीज में, क्लासिफाइड एज इम्पेयरमेंट. सो द एरर इज इन पार्ट बी. Now we will move to our last question of this session. It says Preeti Pal bagged India's first ever medal. Preeti Pal को इंडिया का पहला ऐसा मेडल मिला था. She picked up a bronze in women's 100 meter to T35 event, followed by another in 200 meter, and Kapil Parmar captured India's first para judo medal. So here the question is free from error. There will be no error in it. So the answer will be E1, no error. So let's wind up this session. We have done our today's session. I hope you all have liked it. अगर आपको हमारा ये session पसंद आया हो, so please do like, share and subscribe this session, and we will come up with more such videos. Thank you everyone.